Dear students, now we talk about the last topic of our chapter on atmosphere and various phenomena. Today we talk about rainfall. The last couple of days, even Nainital experienced heavy rainfall, and I am sure some of you must have seen and experienced rainfall. In fact, many of us love to play in the rains, especially during soccer season. Now, have you ever wondered what actually is the rain? What is the science and geography behind the formation of raindrops? Today we'll talk about all these things. Rainfall is a type of precipitation when the condensed water vapor reaches the earth's surface in any form. It could be snowfall, it could be hailstones, it could be rainfall, it could be droplets of small droplets of water in the form of drizzle. But when it comes in the form of drops, which are large enough in size, we call it as rainfall. It is the total amount of rain received on a given area during a given time as measured by a rain gauge. So the instrument which measures rainfall is known as rain gauge. It is equivalent to the water of all forms of atmospheric precipitation received in rain gauge. It could be in any form. Rain gauge can be used even in measuring snowfall. So rainfall is the result of condensation that you know all of us have already studied in junior classes. I try to remind and revise this topic now that rainfall is the result of condensation due to high solar intensity or solar insolation. Water in various water bodies changes its forms. It changes into gaseous form from the liquid state. And this gaseous form of water in the form of steam or water vapor, which is lighter than the air, moves up in the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, what happens is that there is a formation of cloud. For the formation of cloud, you require some condensation nuclei, which could be in the form of pollen grains or some cosmic fragments or some dust particles or even some salt particles which are there in the atmosphere. So around these salt particles, water vapor starts collecting, and a time comes when so many of these starts collecting and forms a big cloud. Now when this cloud, which is nothing but a form of water vapor, strikes any cold surface, then condensation takes place. That is, from gaseous state to liquid state, or sometimes even in the form of solid state, like you see in the form of hailstones. So this is what we already studied about the formation of rainfall. The size of the water droplets increases in rainfall. In the drizzle, the size of the water rainfall is very less. And when these droplets increases their size, they cannot remain suspended in the air, so they ultimately comes back on the earth's surface due to earth's gravity. So this is how the rainfall takes place. There are many factors which influence the amount of rainfall which we have, which could be latitude. I'll quickly give you an example, like equatorial areas with near the equator or in the tropical areas the rainfall is plenty because the sunshine is more sunshine, so more evaporation and hence more formation of clouds. So temperature plays a very important role. Then is moisture. More moisture will be there, more condensation will take place. Air masses, that is the way the air moves. Right? Sometimes when the air mass has got different temperature, when they strike each other, the rainfall may take place. Because when the cold air mass comes in, warm air mass comes in contact with cold air mass, condensation will take place, which we also call it as the frontal activity. The word frontal is because when the cold air mass which descends down and the hot air mass which moves up, they come in contact, they come in front of each other, and thus there is a quick condensation, and hence rainfall takes place. Rainfall is also the result of differential heating. Sometimes mountains cause rainfall because once these clouds strikes mountains, along with the slope of the mountain they start ascending, that is moving up. On moving up they reach the area which is colder. So when the water vapor will strike a cold surface, condensation will take place. Similarly is the distribution of land and water. The places which are closer to the sea usually experience more rainfall. So in this way, these are many factors which influence the amount of rainfall a place has it. You must be knowing that there are many places in western Rajasthan where there is a deficit of rainfall. There are places in Ladakh where there is less rainfall because it is on the leeward side of the Himalayas. On the other hand, there are places in Assam and in the coastal areas of India which experience plenty of rainfall and rainfall for a long duration. Let us talk about the types of rainfall now. There are three types of rainfall based on the process by which clouds are formed. First one is known as convectional rainfall. Second is orographic rainfall. Oro here means mountain. And the third one is known as cyclonic or frontal rainfall. Let us discuss about each one of these types one by one. I will illustrate with the help of some examples to convince you about the formation of these rainfalls. So what are the three types of rainfall? Convectional rainfall, orographic rainfall, also known as relief rainfall, or cyclonic or frontal rainfall. First we talk about the convectional rainfall. The surface air gets heated up. On getting heated up, it changes into water vapor. Water vapor is lighter than the air surrounding, and thus it rises up. Lighter things will rise up. On reaching to higher altitude here means height, they cool down. When they cool down, the condensation will take place and they fall down in the form of rainfall. That means the place from where they are rising up, usually near that same place they starts falling down. So there is a vertical motion of air mass, first moving up and then getting condensed and coming down on the earth's surface. This type of rainfall is usually accompanied by lightning and thunder. Too much of lightning and thunder. Usually we experience heavy rainfall within a short span of time. The areas where convectional rainfalls are very popular are usually around equator or in tropics. The areas which experience high intensity of solar insolation in the morning. And the type of clouds which are formed are usually cumulonimbus type. Cumulonimbus type clouds are those clouds which are formed like a cauliflower, and they are usually darker in color, very dark in color. The sky becomes overcast and become darkish. But you have quick, fast rainfall or heavy rainfall in a short span of time. This is very common in areas around equator. Sometimes we also call them as 4 o'clock rainfall because usually almost on a daily basis you have such rainfall in the post lunch session. This is the diagram which will convince you. See, here you can observe yourself that the ground heats up, the warm air rises up. You can see with the red arrow they have shown warm air. Then it cools down on rising at high altitude. The water vapor condenses and forms clouds, and then the rain comes back on the same area usually, right? And this type of rainfall is known as convectional rainfall. I think now it's very clear. Let's move on to the next type of rainfall before we talk in short about some major features. The rainfall is of short duration and heavy showers. As I told you earlier, heavy showers, it rains cats and dogs, but it is for a short duration. Usually it is the afternoon rainfall or 4 o'clock rainfall. It occurs in early summer in the temperate, but in temperate zone also you can experience this type of rainfall, but it is usually before the summers, in the early summer time. Now we talk about the orographic rainfall. The word orography is derived from the Greek word oros, which means a mountain. So here, the mountain or some high rising structure is responsible for the cause of rainfall. Let us find out that what forces the clouds to get condensed. It is found on the windward side of mountain ranges lying across the path of the prevailing terrestrial winds. We call them as terrestrial winds because they move along the surface. Terra here means earth. So the mountain side which directly faces the wind is known as the windward side, and the ones which is on the other, and the mountain side which is opposite to the windward side, where the wind carrying moisture usually descends, that is known as the leeward side. I think with the help of example it will be clear to you. They have introduced a new word, rain shadow. I'll explain to you a little later about rain shadow. Now see this diagram. The prevailing wind comes from the ocean side. The side of the mountain facing the ocean, or where the wind is striking first, is known as windward side. Usually we have more rainfall on the windward side. As the winds are climbing up, they go to an area which is cooler. On reaching cooler surfaces, they get condensed and there is rainfall. So there's plenty of rainfall on the windward side. On the other side of the mountain, the air starts descending depending on the slope of the land. And as this side, when the air descends, it gets warmer. And a warm air will not get condensed easily. So there is less rainfall. So in this type of rainfall, different sides of a mountain experience different amount of rainfall. The windward side will get more rainfall, whereas the leeward side will get less rainfall. I'll give you an example from India. In India, down south, we have got Western Ghats. Western Ghats are the mountains which are running in Maharashtra also. On the windward side is Mumbai, and you cross the mountain Mahabaleshwar and other areas of Western Ghats, and you reach Pune. So Mumbai is on the windward side and Pune is located on the leeward side. So here we find that from the same winds, Mumbai gets plenty of rainfall, whereas Pune gets deficit rainfall. This type of rainfall is known as orographic rainfall. I'll give you another example. This example is from Meghalaya. When the Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon strikes Meghalaya, Shillong is on the leeward side and Cherrapunji and Mausim Ram is on the windward side. Mausim Ram gets world's highest rainfall, whereas Meghalaya, the capital of Meghalaya, Shillong, gets comparatively less rainfall because it is on the leeward side. Another example of orographic rainfall can be taken from the Himalayas. Ladakh is located on the leeward side of the Himalayas, whereas other parts of Kashmir are located on the windward side. So Ladakh gets deficit rainfall. So here I have given you a couple of examples to convince you about the formation of orographic rainfall, where the mountain plays a major role in rainfall formation. Now, what are the main features of orographic rainfall? It is saturated air from the sea. It hits the mountains. On reaching to high altitude, air cools down, and then rainfall takes place on the mountain slope. I told you just now, more is on the windward side and less is on the leeward side. These examples will again convince you how the mountains are causing orographic rainfall. You can see that moisture, or the winds carrying moisture, starts moving towards the mountains. On reaching higher altitude, air cools down, and on further cooling plays plenty of precipitation, and when the wind descends, there is less rainfall on the leeward side because it gets warmer. Again, some examples which I want to reiterate. On the Western Ghats, windward side get more rainfall, leeward sides where Pune is located gets less rainfall. The southern slopes of the Himalayas get more rainfall as compared to the northern slopes where Ladakh is located. Same is applicable to the Great Indian Plains, which are on the windward side, so they get plenty of rainfall. Now the last type of rainfall is known as cyclonic or frontal rainfall. It occurs along the frontal zones of convergence. Convergence is when two air masses starts converting towards each other. They start coming closer to each other. They get converged. They come in front of each other. There is a meeting of hot and cold air. The hot air which is rising up and the cold air which is descending down. Cold air being heavier will descend, whereas hot air being lighter will ascend or move up. The cold air push up the hot air. What happens now? The cold air will push up the hot air, and as the altitude increase, the hot air cools down and condensation takes places. This type of rainfall is known as frontal rainfall, also known as depression rainfall. You can see with example how the warm air is moving. It rises up, and on rising up it cools down, and you got a cold air which is forcing it to move up. So warm moisture laden air from the south meets cold air from the north and forms a warm front. Further cooling leads to precipitation along the warm front. So this type of rainfall is again has some similarity with the convectional type of rainfall. There will be heavy rainfall for a short duration accompanied by lots of lightning and thunder. So what are the main features of this rainfall? Let us revise them. Usually in winters, this precipitation takes place in the northern parts of India. You have western disturbances. In winters, you got winter rainfall in the plains of Punjab and Haryana, which also causes snowfall in western Himalayas, including Nainital. So that is one example. In Europe and America, also North America especially, you have frontal rainfall which takes place due to winds there. It occurs notably in the intertropical convergence zone. In short, we call it ITCZ, and the polar front in the polar areas in temperate zone. So this is all about three types of rainfall. Now let us quickly summarize the three types of rainfall with the help of this diagram. This diagram I think all of you should draw because it will help you to understand the differences between three types of rainfall, that is relief, convectional and frontal. So they have certain similarities and there are certain differences which I have again mentioned to you for your convenience. You can always note down these as a form of notes. So this is all about rainfall. Now I want to give you a small assignment. I think some of you must have attempted this. If not, then you please try. You draw neat diagrams for conventional, orographic and cyclonic or frontal rainfall, and even for all the three types of rainfall, and try to explain them. That is a brief assignment which I am giving you today. Thank you so much.